One, two, three. Hello, and welcome to X-Rated, the X-Men Animated Review Social.
That's my new favorite running gag at the beginning of the
I don't really care how you found us, but I'm glad you've joined us. I am your host,
the Chosen One.
The Chosen One, also known as Belladonna, Devin Skellhorn. Nice. Yeah, thank you. And with me, as always,
Hey, Bobby.
Bobby. Hey, Bobby.
Hey, Bobby.
Hey,
Bobby.
No, it's not Bobby. It's
Pierre.
I'll take it. That's close. That's closer than Bobby.
Yeah, it's a French name.
Exactly.
No, it of course is Guild of Ass Andres. Andre Myatt.
When I came up with that, I enjoyed it so much that I knew you'd have to say ass. You like Asandres, like
Asandres? I should have said Asandres.
No, but I knew you'd focus on the ass as always.
I did.
There you go, as I knew you would.
As I often do.
Well, we're only human after all.
Indeed. Yeah.
As we come from like one of the hardest rainstorms ever happening on the East Coast tonight.
It's pretty nuts out there.
It's insane. I just drove back from Amherst about an hour away, and it was friggin' nuts. The highway's crazy.
If the podcast cuts out, it's the weather. It's not our fault. We've lost power. We've lost internet.
It's Davin's fault. He did not pay his electrical bill.
We are here to review Season 2, Episode 6. X-Men the Animated Series, X-Ternally Yours. This
is a really bad title, but yes.
Written by Julianne Clem, who probably came up with that title Andre's talking about right now.
I'm sorry, Julianne Clem, if you're listening. I'm sure you are. I'm not a fan of the title.
Well, I got nothing against the title, actually. It fits the episode well.
I guess so, but not really. We'll get to that later.
Well, yeah, there's lots to say about this.
That's right. Before we begin, what are you drinking tonight, Devin?
Well, funny you should ask. I'm
wine?
Drinking Gin Royal. Are you familiar with the Gin Royal?
I'm familiar with gin. I'm a huge fan of gin. I'm drinking gin, but not Gin Royal. What is that?
Gin Royal is done by a Nova Scotian brewery here. God, I wish I could remember the name. I should have brought the bottle down here. I'll plug the name of a different episode. But anyway, it's stained blue, dark blue, purple with pea blossoms. And when you pour the tonic into the gin, the quinine in the tonic reacts with the pea blossoms and turns it pink, which you get this nice little pink color here.
That's not by Compass, is it? Is it Compass?
Again? It's Compass.
I think I've seen the bottle before because I like the
purple gin. You've probably noticed it.
Well, there's a few different ones. Not to get into a gin talk, but locally there's like a Hascat berry one, and Compass has the pea blossom one. There's also one that I really like called Empress Gin, which isn't Canadian, I don't think, but it's really good. So and that's sparkle as well. But mine is it is a New Zealand dry gin called Scapegrace dry gin. That's my first time trying it, as I like to try new things, and it's very good. I like it a lot. So I don't think this was a super expensive bottle, but it was probably more than the usual. But I really like it. It's good.
Gin Royal also a little more than the usual, but it's worth it.
Well, you got to support those local distilleries. There's a good one here in town too, Raging Crow, which do a lot of local things. They have a gin. They have a spruce tip gin, which tastes like a Christmas tree. I don't know if that's appealing to you, but it's surprisingly appealing to me. I didn't think I'd like it that much, and then I got it, and I was like, it's actually pretty good.
Well, I mean, gin tastes like juniper berries in general, so.
Yeah, but not like I had a gin martini way before when it was mixed with vermouth, and it was like so Christmas tree tasting that it turned me right off to it forever. until I tried it again later, just mixing it with soda water, like lime soda water or whatever flavor kind of matches whatever the gin is. And yeah, it's really good. This one is great. I just mix it with lime soda water, but it's really good. And as it goes on, the funnier I get. So let's continue playing myself with alcohol.
I shall join you in that
to get the comedy, the sweet comedy. I hope for all our alcoholic fans at home. Welcome
Which
to the party.
I'm sure is most of you.
Welcome to the party. I must say, I did meet
We're
a
all
fan
casual
of ours.
drinkers here.
I did meet a fan of ours on the weekend.
Really?
Yeah. Well, two things. I met a couple who had a dog named Rogue that was named after the cartoon, and we had a lovely talk about the cartoon, and I told them about the shows. Hopefully they find us. And the other was one of our wrestling fan that was at a show and told me how much he enjoys the podcast at the show I was at on Saturday. So that was nice to hear. It's nice to know there's some real world folks.
This podcast, or
he was talking about this one.
History's book.
He actually found the graphic histories one through this one, but he.
Oh, good. I was hoping that would happen.
Yes, but he did. He does really like this one. So if you're listening, thank you for letting me know that you're out there. It's great to have the fans approach and tell me in person how much they're enjoying the shows. Thank you. If you're able to do that.
Get fans sending me dick pics.
Oh man, come on! You're not sharing those?
I'll send you the next one.
Thanks. It's just
we actually get one of those.
Does this dick? Do you say we actually got one of those?
Yeah, we got one.
What?
Yeah.
Is it like this dick looks like Wolverine or something like that, or is it just a dick?
Just a dick.
And was there any copy, or was it just a photo of a dick?
Copy.
I'm intrigued by the like. Did he write anything?
No.
Or did he just send a picture of his dick? And what avenue did this come through?
Facebook.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But why?
Why? I don't know. Well, you were because you were friggin' egging everyone on last episode with your alluring talk. And
did I say anything about sending us dick pics?
You kept going on about the bone zone.
You think one listener was so inflamed with passion from my talk of the bone zone that he was compelled, if you will, to send us a dick pic?
That's what I think. Yeah.
Wow. Well, if you're still listening, sir, that's
take Andre to the bone zone next time.
That's unnecessary.
We also told everybody everything comes to me first, so everyone knows.
True. I was going to say, if you're listening, sir, we appreciate your enthusiasm, but that's unnecessary. We hope you just enjoy the show for the content that we provide.
If you would like to take Andre to the bone zone, contact Graphic History Podcast.
Please don't. I'm definitely getting one now. That's very interesting and surprising. I guess not super surprising, but just still kind of surprising.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is your podcast title. You're bringing it all to us.
Oh, come on! I think it's a great fucking title. I'm not gonna answer. I'm not gonna defend this title any more than I already have. It's a great title. True. It's an X-Men show, and they throw the word X into everything they do. Like X-Ternally yours name this episode. Weapon.
There is an X-Ternal, but yeah, it's not.
Yes, they play it up constantly. So.
All right. Well, let's.
Well, it's time for Lebowski's entrance.
Previously on X-Men.
Something's very wrong.
Ignore that. My fingers.
That'll. You just have your finger hovering over the sound effects button.
Oh, my mouth.
Previously on X-Men.
Previously on X-Men.
But if any of you ever comes after me again for any reason, all bets are off.
So you're not just playing the actual previously on the X-Men section that happens in the episode, are you?
No, I'm making this myself.
Okay, I was going to say, because this one was just all Gambit specific. I remember thinking it was previously an X-Men. It was just a highlight reel of Gambit in the X-Men.
No, what my previously on X-Men usually is just the very last.
Actually, the episode that was on before. That makes sense. Although that is
nothing. And the very last few seconds of what they say, unless it's all music or something. Then
I actually got a kick out of this one because it was just all highlights of Gambit. It was like a Gambit highlight reel. He's just,
Yeah.
Although we didn't get the best line, we didn't get the best line ever, which is still our favorite. What's going on with our ship?
Going on? He was always a big trouble there, ship.
Yeah, that was the later one, but there was the fast one where she was looking for Professor X or something. He's like, hey, how's it going over there, chef? Like, it was just so fast.
You find the old man there, chef?
It was so good. For those of you who obviously don't read the messages that Devin and I send to each other, we constantly just send them in one full line of text that ends with share. There's no spaces. So it's like, Devin, I do a computer over there, chef. I'm
not sick of it yet.
Oh, it's so good. Anyway, we'll start with going through the episode, I suppose, as we always do. This episode, we find Cyclops in the danger room exercise being controlled by Gambit, which apparently is just a nozzle that he has to put forward and back to set how difficult the danger room setting is, which seems too simplistic because he gets a phone call. Well, first, Cyclops complains that the danger room setting isn't high enough. It's too easy for him. He's fighting various tentacled, hentai-inspired tentacled monster in a swamp with a lot of, penis-like tendrils that are attacking Cyclops that he has to shoot away. Very similar to an anime hentai situation. And as he's doing that, he says it's too easy. Cyclops gets a phone call, leans on the lever ever so slightly, which causes it to go to like extremely dangerous. So while he's on the phone, Cyclops is fighting a bevy of enemies we've seen in the past. One of them, oddly enough,
can't you make this program a little tougher? Why? You don't like Gambit to be gentle?
This isn't Gambit's best episode, even though it's all about him, but that was a good line.
Why does he talk as himself in a third person? It's just so funny. My favorite is when they're showing the highlight clip of him, where one of the ones was that you can all relax now, Gambit is here.
That's one of the best lines ever.
It's so good. So,
oh no, my lights just flickered. Well, we still got power.
All right, so we'll try to fly through it. So he knocks the difficulty level to maximum at the entrance of the phone.
Xavier School.
Ring ring, Xavier School.
He's just like perfectly trained in secretary lingo. He's just like, he's got it down. Gambit's the total package. He answers
whoever's
phones,
manning the danger room answers the phone.
He runs danger room simulations. He answers the phone. So as he's doing so, a bevy of opponents after he accidentally hits the button to maximum show up. Oddly enough, one of them is Mr. Sinister, which is quite funny because we haven't met him yet. The X-Men haven't. They don't even know who he is yet. So they haven't entangled with him.
Is one of them Sinister? I know there's Apocalypse there.
No, one of them is definitely Sinister, which is funny because they actually haven't met Sinister yet in person. He's only been pulling the strings behind the scenes. So the fact that you even know what he looks like and have to put him in the simulation is odd. But we'll just chalk that up to
not true. Cyclops has met him. He shot him, and Sinister ran away.
Oh man, you're right. I'm sorry. Then you're totally right. Yeah. No, they did meet him after the Morph episode. So apparently they knew him well enough to make a whole simulation.
They immediately went home and made a danger room.
Immediately went home and went, this guy was a dick, so let's put him in the danger room. So there's robots of him, of Omega Red, who they encountered earlier, although Cyclops didn't encounter him earlier. Apocalypse, and Apocalypse actually grows to like a big size, which I don't think he's done in the show before. Well, we know he can do, if you know the comics.
Juggernaut, I believe, was
Juggernaut's in there as well, and a weird monster that kind of looks a bit brutish, but not quite, like a big one with teeth. So Cyclops is just getting mangled by all these guys, and he's yelling for help. Well, Gambit's just on the phone. He's like, "Who is this? You have that clip? You have that clip, right? You think you played it for me earlier?
No, what's gonna happen?
Oh yeah, this one.
Who is this? How you find me?
How you find me?
How you find me? So he's told by a random person that his brother Bobby is in trouble. And he's supposed to.
I believe that's Pierre.
Yeah, we don't see the person calling; we just see their mouth. Which I guess you could line up probably with the hair, maybe to figure out which one of his little friends there from the past it is, but it's not that important. So he's informed that his brother Bobby has disappeared, and he's supposed to bring the tide to the Eternal. Now, man, if you made a drinking game in this game of this show of how much they say the word tide, you would be drunk.
They're saying tithe.
Yeah, I know, but they say it so.
I know.
Well, they say with the accent, so the H isn't really.
Yeah,
they say with the Cajun accent, so the H is not used very much. But they say it so much. Whoever made this episode, like, and no offense, Miss Clem, I'm sure you're a lovely writer, and I know you have to write for kids, so there's probably a lot of limitations here. I know we say that a lot, but there's got to be another word for that. At least, like, get a thesaurus and look up a different word to just pocket in occasionally, because that's the only word they use to describe the offering. Offering is a good word too that they give to this being, which we'll learn more about as we go on here. But they say tithe a lot, and it gets quite annoying as the episode wears on. Where's the tithe? You took the tithe. Someone else has the tithe. Where's the tithe? So
I gotta go home, Chip. They're gonna waste my brother.
So Rogue notices there's like a flashing thing in a line that the danger room, someone's in trouble in the danger room, and Gambit's or Cyclops is like all ripped up the shit. Like they're just all the, like there's a scene where the big penis tendril monster has him wrapped up, and all the other robots like the Sinister, the Apocalypse, the Juggernaut, the Omega Red are all just going like this and shooting him with beams.
They're all shooting him.
He's just like totally suspended. Just going, while every single robot in the thing like is shooting him at once. He's just like, Gambit, stop. So
then Cyclops do a good training there, yeah.
Oh, you don't like Cyclops to be gentle there, Chef? So Rogue runs in, turns off the program. Asks him what the hell he's doing. He says that, so he still doesn't even register that he's just put Cyclops in mortal danger for a long period of time. He just says they got to go home. They're going to waste my brother. So then Rogue goes to control room to see if Cyclops is okay. He's just lying on the floor with his costume ripped to shreds. And like Jean runs in, cradles his head. All he can mutter in his like hurt state is like, "Oh, Gambit, stop it,
Gambit."
Yeah. So they see if he's okay. We cut to Gambit having a flashback as he's flying. He takes a jet to go fly to where he needs to get to find out his brother. We get a flashback.
Jet.
Yes, it was. Well, I mean,
yellow and blue one.
We never really knew it was Wolverine specific jet. It might just be the one Wolverine took. The X-Men colors are generally yellow and blue anyway, kind of. True. Throughout the series, most of them were yellow and blue. So, we get, as he's flying off, we get a flashback of Gambit being with his group, which we soon learn are the Brotherhood of Thieves, who have some kind of a ritual. It's never really explained why or how this came about. It's very vague. Where they have to deliver
years ago.
Yes, but that's about it. So there's a tithe that you have to give to this being called the X-Ternal that comes out of the bayou. Who speaks very much like Rogue. In fact, it kind of seems like it's what Rogue does on her off days, is just go be the External.
I thought she sounded more like Storm.
Oh, what did I say, Rogue? Yeah, no, I meant Storm. Sorry, that's what I meant.
Yeah, it's like Creole Storm.
She's not even really that Creole. She's almost godlike. We don't even know what she is or why she's doing this. But anyway, there's these two.
Years have passed. The time for the tithing has come.
Time for tithing.
So we learned through this flashback that there was essentially, and I'm filling a lot in just to make it more clear about what's happening because it's pretty vague, but that there's a brotherhood of thieves, a thieves guild, and an assassins guild, and this being they bring a tithe to her every year, which is a little gold box. Apparently, there's something in it, we never know what. That is their offering to this being who comes out of the bayou.
Every year? Did they say that?
Every 10 years. Every 10 years. So then she bestows power to a chosen one from each guild for the tithe, and if someone doesn't bring it, she fucks him up. Essentially, sends them to what, like an eternity of pain and suffering.
Yeah, well,
Hail me, assassin or thief, and all your kind shall join the conspirator in oblivion.
Join the conspirator in oblivion.
Well, though in the flashback, one of the Thieves Guild guys. Did he not have it, or he did something wrong? He was late getting there. So which like something happens every 10 years. It's incredibly important. It doesn't say why this guy was late getting there. It's just like he slept through his alarm or something. Like
he did have 10 years to get there.
Every 10 years you need to bring this thing to this bayou to give ultimate power. Like when somebody in your whole group will get more powerful, and your chosen one will get extra power. So like, why would you miss this? Like, what's going on? So the guy's late getting there. He gets obliterated. Literally just disappears into the ether. Like, we have no idea what happens to him, although he's apparently being tortured for oblivion for not bringing this box. And he still was late. Like that just shows how males are really bad at keeping promises and showing up on time. Like,
or maybe thieves are.
Well, I know most people are. Like, I have a joke I say when I'm late for something. I say, look, I'm sorry I'm late, but I have a really good reason. I'm a terrible person and I don't respect other people's time. So this guy obviously paid the ultimate price for that.
Chosen one.
That's me.
Bobby.
And that's you.
Bobby. So, in the past, Gambit was with these guys, witnessed all this. He didn't have his fancy costume then. He just had a ponytail. But we knew it was him because of his eyes. So the X-Ternal punishes thieves by being late. She chooses Belladonna, who's the leader of the Assassin's Guild. And Bobby.
Belladonna Boudreaux.
I don't think they say her last name in the episode, do they? Is that just from the comics? So, anyway, then Bobby, who's the brother of Gambit, gets the chosen ones. So their job is to bring the tithe in 10 years' time. That is coming up. So basically, the phone call. Gambit arrives in New Orleans and meets up with Pierre, who is the one that informed Gambit of Bobby's cancer, right? It is Pierre. Pierre! Pierre states the assassins have kidnapped Gambit's brother, and they intend to hold him and the tithe so that they can't bring it and screw up, their chances and obliterate the Thieves Guild. But they were willing to
the day of the tide. No one is ever. Who cares about the stupid tide?
Who cares about the tide? They attack on the day of the tide.
The accents are so bad in this. Like, they're hilarious. They're all the exact same. Like, everyone sounds exactly the same. I know there's like different versions of the Louisiana accent. But some are like, even the way people talk, some are slower, some are faster. There's different cadences, but everybody's like exactly the same. What's that? You got the dad. Who took that dad? I'll get away from y'all. You get away from y'all. Shep.
We actually had a listener say that people actually do sound like that, though.
Oh, really? Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
Every time I think of the Southern accent, and this might be a deep cut, maybe not for some of our listeners, but I think of the
Day of the Tide.
No, I think of King of the Hill. Do you remember King of the Hill? Did you watch the show?
Boomhauer?
No, not Boomhauer, but Bill Dauterive. He has family from Louisiana, and they go there in a few episodes throughout the series. And he has a super effeminate like cousin that's like obviously gay, but he's like wearing like the whole white suit, and it's all very slow and sensual the way he talks. It's very southern, but it's French too, like that sort of thing. So it just makes me think of that a little bit as well. So anyway, we learned that the assassins have kidnapped Gambit's brother, intending to hold him and the tithe that he has, preventing the Thieves Guild from getting in there. Gambit getting aggressive, grabbing people by the collar. That's Bobby.
Around here.
So, but they were willing to trade. Bobby, yeah. They're willing to trade the tithe and Bobby in exchange for Gambit. So Gambit goes to their headquarters. He goes off in a speedboat rather to get to the headquarters. Which is funny. It's like they're in the bayou. You got to travel by speedboat at least at some point. So the assassins.
Yeah.
Wait, I think I made.
It's the bayou though. It should be a fan boat.
So at one point here, we see they're putting Cyclops to bed back at the X-Men mansion, and then Wolverine shows up, finds out what's going on. Yeah, well, like he's all beat up. They want him. He said he's feeling better.
Really?
But they want to make him
I feel
stay.
better.
Really, I feel better in the least convincing sentence in the history of cartoons. So then Wolverine shows up, finds out Gambit's in trouble, and in the way he always picks on Gambit, there does seem to be a sort of fraternal love between the two. That their constant chiding of one another seems to kind of just be, I guess, a way of them, a way males bond, that we always make fun of each other for some reason.
At that time, Wolverine was gonna murder him for lighting that brick up with his powers.
That's an ancient history.
History, they talked that out.
Wolverine's still on the team where he went into the danger room and fought the leader over and over again, killing him as many ways as possible because he's upset that he was marrying the woman that loved him back, that Wolverine wanted.
That's like looking in somebody's diary, Andre. That's a private moment between a man and his danger room program.
Well, thankfully, with the way that this show unveils, we get access to all that, and we realize what a piece of shit Wolverine really is.
Leave it to Gambit to grow up in a swamp.
The best
he's obviously from Louisiana. How would you not know he grew up in a swamp, or at least in a swamp area?
This is the best though. Here.
The Cajun actually lived in this dump?
That's what the professor's records say.
That's what the professor's records say. Dump. Grew up in a dump.
The professor specifically wrote "dump" in it in his things. So anyway,
the mysterious grew up in a dump.
So they leave Cyclops behind. Wolverine, Rogue, and Jean Grey go off to go find Gambit. They use the tracker in the ship. Like, why would anybody going on a mission by themselves ever take one of those ships? Because in every single episode, the rest of the team just follow them by tracking the ship that they took. So I guess it's faster than taking a plane.
Yeah, exactly. Still a sweet.
But if you don't want them to come to your rescue, then you shouldn't do that, because they always come to your rescue. In fact, the last time it happened, Gambit was with the group that went to the rescue. So, maybe just a little insight for next time. You want to go on a solo mission.
That time he was on the away team, and then they come back, and he's all of a sudden not on the away team.
I do remember that. Yeah, he somehow teleported out. Maybe he just jumped out about a mile before where they got. He had somewhere to be. He's like, "Oh yeah, I got to pick up some bread at the stove. You drop me off here." And
this must stop there, yeah.
He just opens the door and jumps out, like not even like it's on The Simpsons with the monorail. Like he's like, "I just want to get off." Jumps out the door and goes, even though it's like not.
Gambit don't need a parachute, chap.
Yep. All right, so Gambit goes to the museum the mansion to do the trade off with his brother. He let's see here. The rest of the X-Men arrive trying to track him. They find the where his ship is, and they're backtracking to find him. They get to the old mansion where we meet Belladonna, who's still the leader of the assassins. Bobby and some of the assassins are waiting for them. We learn that they tried to marry in the past. They were going to wed to unite the Thief and Assassins Guild, but it wouldn't work. They would have killed them, as he said, which is why they separated. They're willing to let Bobby.
Bitter. She's like, "You could have taken me with you."
Yeah, because he ran
we
off.
were young, which basically means I didn't want to.
Yeah, I know. He just says that. She's like, "You could take me with you," and he's like, "We were young," and that's it. Like that's enough of an explanation. It's like, so what? So what? You could have still taken her. It's like it's a different time, like the way people rationalize all the shit they do when they're younger.
He's like, I'm looking for a Southern girl, but you're not really the one I'm looking for.
She actually seems generally insane, which may be part of the reason why he didn't. Incredibly possessive, that's for sure, and jealous. What does she say here? Yeah, she shouts at him for leaving her at the altar. Do you have that?
You were traded for worthless brother and an even more worthless box.
That was my favorite Belladonna line. And her cackle's really good, too.
Well, she states that she will let the brother go if Gambit will put back on his wedding ring because she kept it.
Now, she sounds like Rogue, kind of. I wonder if that's
a little bit.
Fan.
I didn't see it in the crew. I just have her. No, Belladonna says unknown, so maybe it could have been her doing double duty. So she has to put in the wedding ring. She'll let Bobby go as soon as he puts it on. She uses it to make him feel extreme pain. Apparently, she's altered the ring to be able to control Gambit and also stop his powers when he tries to use them. Meanwhile, Wolverine, Jean, and Rogue are caught in a trap set by the Thieves Guild. They're about to fight.
Some answers, mushmouth.
He has another line right for that too, which is really good. Do you have that one? What, I can't remember what it was. He says the mush.
Give me that ring, Gumbo. You ain't the marrying kind.
Wolverine hates weddings. That's one thing we learned from this show. He hates weddings.
He sure does.
Gambit's not even marrying his girl or the girl he likes, but he's still not about it.
He's not a fan at all. So
they
get caught.
I don't care about which spirit ladies do what to which Cajuns. I'm here to stop a wedding.
He just hates weddings.
Which ladies do what to what Cajuns? I don't value human life at all. I just want to stop this wedding.
Yeah, just not weddings.
I'm
gonna fight a Sentinel Gambit.
They run into the Thieves Guild. Bobby arrives after he's been freed. Tell the Thieves Guild that they're in fact allies of Gambit. They plan to rescue Gambit while back at the mansion. Belladonna has Gambit dressed in tuxedo, as we saw. Plans to marry him again, revealing that she gave the thieves a fake tithe. So they'll be punished by the X-Ternal. So, when she released Bobby, she gave him a fake box, not the one he needs to bring
Do we ever
to the
see what's in
extent-
these boxes?
We do not. Never.
No.
Never.
We
They
don't know what
even
the
have a
tag is.
line. They even have a line referencing that if they don't check what's in the box, it's not their fault. But we don't know what's in the box. You know, it
That's
could
true. Just like if you thieves don't look in the box, it's not our fault.
It could be
That's
like
pretty
a baby, like who knows? You know what I mean? Like who knows what they're trying? This because the sacrifice could be a human sacrifice. We don't know what this thing is. It could be way more sinister than we know. Maybe both sides are evil because of this. Who knows? So, so the thieves and assassins arrive at the tithe meeting with the X-Men in tow. Gambit's alongside the assassins. They get in a fight. Wolverine tries to take the ring off, as you see, which doesn't work. When Belladonna, when the X-Ternal comes out, Gambit immediately says that they gave them the fake tide, pushes Belladonna out of the way. So he's trying to warn his friends because at first Rogue, like throughout the episode, Rogue is seemingly hurt by the fact that Gambit had a former lover that he's with this other woman, kind of re-showing the idea that she has feelings for him that she never really acts on because of her, you know, how dangerous her powers can be to other humans or other.
A little bit of the jealousy that he's usually the one.
A little bit, which is a nice, you know, in the flashback, we showed the scene where she kissed him by putting her hand over his mouth and kissed him back for hand, which was, I don't think I mentioned in that episode, which actually is a really sweet little moment and an interesting way of doing that. So, yeah, so he pushed Belladonna out of the way. They get in a big fight. Wolverine tries to take the ring off. It shocks him. Wolverine also does that thing earlier when they encounter the Thieves Guild where he puts the claws. So the two go on either side of the guy's face, and if he puts the third one out, it'll go through his head. Which is always
like
nice
sometimes they slip.
What's shink? Oh shit! I killed Gambit's brother. It was an accident, I swear, Gumbo.
Oh no, it's Bobby.
Oh no, Bobby. So they get in a big fight. Then the X-Ternal comes out at the appropriate time, is ready to basically wipe out the Thieves Guild because they brought a false tithe with them, as the word tithe was said for the 1,000th time in this episode.
For the 1,000th tad.
1,000th tad. So then the Jean used her powers to telepathically tell the X-Ternal what really happened, so it knows the true story. Which is interesting that we don't know what this thing is. It is a god. It just seems like a woman in a costume, but
I'll get into that.
Is that from the comics? You have more information?
I have information. We'll save that for later.
Okay. Keeping it vague. I like it. So
I like to be mysterious like Gambit, yeah.
Shut. So she learned
Both of our names of this episode just should have been Cher.
Chip. Yeah, but it should be. It's under my chip. So as a result, she punishes the Belladonna for sabotaging the tithe. And then Gambit, they let the Thieves Guild decide what to do with her, and Gambit says take her powers, but not her life.
She had some crazy powers. She had flexed them a couple times this episode, and she seemed to have a lot of different things she could do.
So he has a really good line at the end. Do you have that one? So anyway, so I'll wait before you play. Wait. So they strip out of her powers. She's still wants Gambit to be with her, wants him to stay. He says this line and then leaves with the X-Men. So do you have that line?
Yeah, he says, actually, no, you're kind of insane.
I am an X-Man, and I'm never coming back.
Yeah, before that he says, I'm not a thief, I'm not an assassin, I'm an X-Man. Which is the nice little line. And he says, I'm never coming back, and he walks off with the rest of the X-Men. And there's the line too earlier where Rogue's like he's not really going to be with her and join the Assassin's Guild when they see him after he shows up for the tithe. And then he immediately turns and says, like, it's a false tithe, you know. And then she's relieved that he's not with her and that he's still one of them. So, which is a nice little moment.
Yeah, and a lot of the Fringe characters, like Fringe, as in like the more mysterious, roguish characters, been getting that sort of moment on this show. Like Wolverine sort of had the "I'm an X-Man" moment, and so did Rogue.
Yeah, which is nice. It's showing that they, even though they come from dubious origins, they found, you know, I always like that sort of trope. And I find the older I get, the more, what's the word? Sentimental I get about those sort of stories. You know, the ones where
it's as a father.
Oh, well, you're a father, not me. But not that I know of anyway. But that the you know, the idea that it's like, you know, you're real, like I have a good relationship with my real family, so that's great. But it's like, you know, it's almost like if life hands you a bad deal, you don't you can make a family. You find a family or community, a home.
Mm-hmm.
And these people that have been on the outskirts or been hurt or been part of have tragic origin stories find a family of sorts that make it their own. And it's nice. I think the X-Men
theme.
Yeah, well, for the X-Men, it seems like a core theme, and it's a nice one because most of the
Star
characters
Trek 2, my other love, so it must be a theme I really enjoy.
But I mean, with the X-Men, a lot of the characters have like the ones that don't come from assassins guilds or government programs are generally people whose families abandoned them because they got powers and they were scared and didn't want anything to do with them. So the idea that they
or you like Kitty Pryde, whose father died saving mutants on Genosha.
That's true. It's there's certainly exceptions, but I think the majority is people that have been spurned by their family in some way.
Andre, have you tried not being a mutant?
It's a line from X-Men 2, the best X-Men movie. X2, if you will, because that was at the time period in film when everything had to be boiled down to a fun little acronym that you can just yell or put on a poster.
Like Fant-4-Stick?
Yes, or 7 with a 7 instead of a V for some reason.
Yes, good.
So in the Savage Land, we cut to everybody's favorite side story, which is Magneto and
of course, yes,
and Professor X wandering through the Savage Land.
I almost forgot.
Yeah, I know. They made this a stinger at the end again. This time, Magneto's surprised that everything's fallen into disarray. Because things were nice and organized before he came back this time and came in all this. Apparently, we meet Barbarous.
Came to the Savage Land, created a bunch of freakish mutants.
Yeah, they call themselves the Mutates, which is interesting. It seems like they're differentiating themselves from Mutates.
Well, they are because they're artificial.
Yes. So in the Savage Land, Professor X, they encounter Barbarous, and they're able to fight him off after Professor X throws. So Barbarous shows up, says that they serve a new master now. Magneto created them. They serve a new master. He grabs Magneto in this death sort of bear hug with his forearms. And then Xavier notices a conveniently placed beehive in a tree just above him and grabs the spear that's, sticking in a nearby tree, throws it, knocks the beehive. All the bees come out and surround Barbarous, making him just attack Barbarous for some reason, not Magneto, who's also right there beside Barbarous.
I like how Xavier and Magneto keep trading off, like being super
saving one another
moments. Yeah, but
also it's almost like a Home Alone thing here when he's using bees to get the villain away. Like it's
we mutates follow a new master now, and you must surrender to me. Never.
Very defiant as always.
Yeah. So then they fight him off and then they escape further. But man, we're just getting real drip feed what's going on in the Savage Land, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That's the end of the episode. Boom.
This is the end of the episode.
No! Stop! Come on!
Hear the bees.
In a reminiscent of the remake of The Wicker Man with Nicolas Cage. The bees, not the bees, all the bees. Obviously, this was far ahead of time.
Each of us will have to look into his own heart and decide.
Obviously, this episode was far ahead of its time because it predicted Nicolas Cage's magnum opus, that is the remake of The Wicker Man. But the original Wicker Man, possibly one of the greatest.
By the end of this series, it predicts Nicolas Cage's entire career. Oh, amazing!
The original Wicker Man is an amazing movie. Christopher Lee, I can't remember the name of the main guy. It's certainly, if you like folk horror as a genre, it's certainly one of the upper echelon. But that remake was terrible, truly terrible.
Not Nick Cage,
but yeah, I like. You know what? Nicolas Cage, I think, is a good actor. He fully commits to anything he does, and he does a lot of bad. He does a lot of bad stuff. So if you fully commit to a bad script, you're going to look insane, which he does a lot. But there's some amazing movies out there he's been a part of, even the last few years. I highly suggest Mandy. If you haven't seen it, it's an amazing movie. And
I want to see that one where he plays himself. That's coming out.
Oh, that's coming out soon. The what is it, like the unimaginable weight of genius or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it's got Pedro Pascal in it too, the Mandalorian.
So who's going first on these ratings, Andre? You,
I think I did last time. It's called The movie's called The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Look, I would like to. I'm just gonna preface this by saying, sorry, Julian Clem, but this is probably my least favorite episode so far. It had some high points. I mean, it's another episode I enjoyed a little bit more listening to it rather than watching it for some reason. But I give it a 5.
Do you remember what I gave the Storm episode? Because I feel like this is better than that.
What?
No offense. You like Storm, and that's the
What?
only reason you like that episode. But that episode was really bad. That was probably my least favorite episode.
I think
give that a
gave the
6?
Storm one a 6. Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 6 too.
This is the first 5 we've seen. Is the 5 I just gave.
Yeah, I'll give it a 6. It's not that bad. I mean, I think the Thieves, the Assassins Guild look. I think I like this one more than you. I give it a 6 or 7.
Pick one.
6, I guess. 7. I'll give it a 7.
Okay.
I think it's better than you think it is because we see.
It's not that it's bad. Like it's a story that needed to be told. It's the backstory of Gambit.
Yeah, I know. I think it was required. I think it shows a little bit of growth for Gambit. We see him shed what was a toxic. Although, like, we don't get a lot of like why him and his brother were ever close because his brother's kind of a dink. The whole thing.
We made him a thief. He does say too. He's just like, I was your brother. Why did you bring me into a thieves guild?
Yeah,
to compete with an assassins guild of all things.
I thought the look of the Assassin's Guild was kind of interesting. They have these weird sort of snake-like. They kind of look like the Serpent Society. Like they got these sort of snake-like armors.
Get into that on my points.
I mean, I like the. They're very 90s looking. That's for sure. That's like the ultimate in 90s character design in comics. But I don't know. Like I think the Gambit stuff is interesting enough. We see a bit of his backstory. We see some more development with him and Rogue. As far as their interest in one another, Rogue seems hurt by almost a betrayal that he might have another love, which is funny because she always spurns his advances, but we see that of course she doesn't really want to do that. It's probably just to not harm him that she does that. But yeah, I think there's some real stuff here that's interesting, and I think it's a little better than a 5. And I think it's, like I said, I know you like that Storm episode. I really didn't. So I like this one better than that. So we're gonna have to at least give it a tick above.
Fair enough. Like I said, it has its moments. It's just, but I'll get into it. I'll get into it here in a bit.
All right.
We got stuff to do.
We got some stuff. We got some stuff here.
That's the one I just did.
Each of us will have to look into his own heart and decide.
Great. You might gonna have to take over the sound effects section because
my finger's really slippy today.
You just covered in butter. What's going on over there?
Look, I'm just
Butterfinger Davin Skellhorn.
Uncanny X points.
Bye-bye.
Who's going first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I
I just mentioned though, we got a like from friend of the show, David Cutler there.
Oh, thank you, David Cutler.
Thanks for
We're looking forward to having you on our Mojo episode, which I believe you said you want to be on, which is what, like 3 or 4 episodes from now. So
yeah, it's episode 11 or 12. 12.
Debut of several characters in this episode. We get Bobby LeBeau, the brother of Remy. Belladonna.
I love that Gambit's last name means the handsome.
Is Bo handsome? I thought it was like lover,
is handsome.
like partner.
No,
Right, that's funny.
Well, it probably gets used for that.
Can you say your Bo is your like partner, right?
But it's your handsome partner.
Oh, okay. Are you fluent in Francais?
No, but I googled that.
Oh, okay.
But
I appreciate your stark honesty.
But honestly, the only radio I listen to is Radio Canada, so I hear a lot of French, and I'm trying to learn it to teach it to the baby.
Oh, that'd be nice. My wife's fluent.
I'm teaching her sign language.
She's
to
like
pick up
2.
way
How old
more
is she?
easily. 17 months.
So not even 2 years old and teaching her sign language? She can pick it up that early?
Getting there, yeah. She knows more. And, she knows,
Interesting.
like, what is it? W, water. She knows cat.
Aw. Cat is this?
Yeah.
Interesting. So it's really whiskers, I guess. Interesting.
Oh, pretty intuitive. I've noticed I'm a lot better at picking up visual language than I am verbal ones. I'm a visual guy.
So
X points.
Yes, so we have Bobby LeBeau, Belladonna, the X-Ternal, and Barbarous. We get introductions to 4 new characters from the X-Men comics, as they were. Ooh, yes, very nice, very nice.
Oh, yes, so we did. And so I guess that's me next, is it?
It is. I just
Okay.
think introductions of new characters.
Well, I suppose I should talk about the X-Ternals a bit. Because you were wondering, are they gods? What are they? What's going on here? And basically, the X-Ternals are a group of mutants who also have the added power of immortality. And they all have sort of this psychic link between them all. Like they're kind of like, I think kind of like a Highlander thing. Like they can sense each other around and like that sort of thing and find each other and that. So like, that's why it sort of made sense that,
so in the comic, Gambit and the X-Ternals, does that relate to that?
The comic Gambit of the X-Ternals was from the Age of Apocalypse storyline, but Gambit's not an X-Ternal, but it, like, I think he like leads a team of X-Ternals in that. Like Apocalypse is one of them. Selene is one of them. Gideon, if you remember him from the 90s, he's one of them. And Cannonball was for a while, but that's doesn't look like that's playing out that way.
So are they a spin-off from the Eternals themselves?
No, they're not Eternals at all. They're just mutants that also have the gift of immortality, but somehow have this link. There's quite a few more of them as well, but no big characters. And this character that we see, this show is not in the comics at all. Which I'll have more to say about here on my next point. So back to you. That's what X-Ternals are all about, though. More immortal mutants. I see how you could draw that sort of Eternals comparison.
Well, they seem kind of like that.
And immortality. But that has an X in it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's how they do with everything else. All right, Beast. I think Beast has been in this season less than he was in last season when he was in jail.
It seems like it.
He's only in, like, he's barely in this season. He never goes any of these missions. We've seen him. I'm gonna look back. Hold on, let me go back to the.
It goes back to what we were told about him not supposed to be a main character. Right?
Well, okay, so he's in the wedding episodes, and that's about it. I think. He wasn't Red Dawn. He wasn't. He wasn't Externally Yours. He wasn't Whatever It Takes. So, yeah, I guess so. Is he in Time Fugitives?
No, he's Beauty and the Beast is coming up after Time Fugitives, though.
No, we have a Rogue's Tale first, and then Beauty and the Beast.
Oh crap! Okay.
And Mojo Visions after that. So, David, we'll see you in 1, 2, 3, 5 episodes. You'll be in the 5th one from now.
See you then.
Man, craziness. So yeah, so Beast. I feel like Beast not getting a lot of love this season, less than he did last season.
Yeah, Beauty and the Beast better make up for it because we're Beast fans on this show.
Yeah, we do love our Beast. We do love him. We're not getting him.
Okay, so my next point. I was doing a little chatting on the Facebooks with Larry Houston today about this Eternals character here.
And you can't get him on the show?
Not yet. Larry, we'd love to have you on the show if you're listening. But he shares and likes a lot of our stuff. He's following the show. He's paying attention.
We do really love what you've done, Larry. So
what he mentioned to me, he brought this up actually when I was doing my regular weekly posts about our episode. He said this Eternals character, X-Ternals character, I should say, was the only original design he did for this series.
Really?
Yeah. Character right here. Interesting design. I like the design.
It looks very
cool.
It looks very 80s, which is kind of fun.
So that
seems like an eternal thing that's been around for, it sounds like, decades. So,
So that's my next point. The only original design he did. Which is interesting and surprising, kind of. 5 seasons of this show, and he's the main designer and storyboarder and that kind of thing. Surprised with all these kind of characters that they just throw in there to play a part in an episode that none of them were really original characters. They drew so much from the comics,
My next point, this is my third point, is I really I mentioned it earlier, but I just kind of want to hammer it home. I really liked the Rogue Gambit stuff in this episode. I know there's not a ton of them interacting a lot, but
no, it's more interacting about each other.
Yeah, and this is kind of, I mean, not so much from Gambit's side of things, but seeing Rogue be a little jealous by his past life and that he may have someone else like that. Seeing that is interesting because she's been spurning his advances so much that it almost seems like she doesn't like him. So it's interesting to see them.
Well, she has those issues. She has closeness issues.
I know, but and there's been a few times where that's shown through. But this one seems to be the most prevalent of those sort of times. So it's super interesting and very, very good character development, which is something this show is certainly not laxed on. So very interesting.
All right, my third point. Back to my conversation with Larry Houston. So I asked him, did that X-Ternal character have a name? And he says, no. Editor Bob Harris at Marvel Comics had nothing for me to work with. So I made the X-Ternal a Creole woman to match the area where the story was taking place, which made a lot of sense to me. And then he says, many months later, they made the X-Ternal a blonde male in the books. To which I replied, it's probably due to the lack of blonde males in comics at the time.
Yeah, there's certainly no shortage of black male or blonde males in comics.
Not anymore, but during the 90s, maybe there was Thor. Who else could there have been?
Everybody.
Other than everybody. Captain America.
The Flash. There's so many blonde,
we could go on.
Blue-eyed Captain heroes. Havoc. Yeah. Okay. There's lots of X-Men too. Yeah. Angel, who we've met already. Bob is Bobby blonde when he's not in his ice form? No. All right. I think he's got brown hair, doesn't he?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you mentioned you wanted to talk about the costume design for the. Is that one of your points? Because I was going to talk about it.
You go for it.
All right. So, costume design for the Guild of Assassins. We don't know much about these guys, and they just hired. And it's like we don't really know because they don't really go into what these guys do. There's a Guild of Thieves and Guild of
Assassins. What do you think assassins?
I know, but I guess,
you're a Guild of S. Andre.
I sure am. I'm part of the Guild of S. Andres.
You're the entire guild yourself.
I'm the entire Guild of S. Andres. So there's very 90s design. Look at that guy with the centerpiece in his head with the lines leading towards it. All these purple sashes and
What about the guy with the circles going down his face on the right there?
Yeah, it's like a Doppler effect in your costume. What do you want for your costume? I want the Doppler effect. Can you do that into a costume?
How would you like your circles arranged, assassin?
In ascending order until they get to the center, and then descending order. Put it right on my face. That's what I need. I need them to see that I'm a man of circles.
All I wanted to say about them really is how seemingly out of place that. And impractical these outfits are for an assassin. Does an assassin's all about sneaking up on people and so they don't see you and stuff. So why do you need spiky shoulder blade pads and I don't know, and you're standing out with all these bright colors with the green hair and the purple sash. It just seems very unassassin.
Yeah, that's true. It is not very assassin-y.
At least the thieves, they just wear dirty trench coats so that their costumes make sense.
Well, that was going to be my final point, but I guess we're talking about it now. Is that they all the thieves wear the same brown trench coat, the one that Remy still wears, which is funny. They all
Bobby has a red one.
Do they buy those in bulk somewhere? That's brown. One. That's brown. Yeah, I guess Remy's is different comparatively, but they do look very similar, and especially at the end when he walks off and he walks through the thieves to leave. They do seem very They all look exactly the same color, which is funny. It's like we buy them in bulk at Costco. Chet, gonna buy those French girls at Costco, Chet.
Okay, well, my next point is the mutates. It's to me, it's weird that Magneto would make mutates. Like, I don't really like that they'd made that change in this series, where in the comics it's Sinister from the beginning, and of course, then now they've got to that point in this show where like, we have a new master, and it's obviously Sinister.
It's still vague.
That makes sense because that brings it to where it kind of should be and makes a little more sense. Where Magneto going to an island and just creating mutants doesn't seem to be his motives. Where he has mutants already to defend and that type of thing. So
it also seems kind of vague in like, I mean, they're still giving us like I use the word drip feed a lot, but it's almost like it's for something slower than a drip feed for information about what's going on here.
My biggest problem,
we get less than a minute of advancing what's going on, and it's not very much.
Yeah, my biggest problem with this episode is like the motivations are. There's a lot of information we don't get. Let's put it that way, especially regarding the X-Ternal and why that's all happening and stuff. It just seemed like a very incomplete episode to me.
I mean, I think there's less. I think like not just compared to.
That's just not important.
And not just compared to the Storm episode because you love it so much, but I feel like there's more explanation here than there was in that one about what was going on. But it's I don't want to make you feel attacked. I know how much you love Storm, but you can kind of piece it together. It's just sort of vague about why. Oh man, this design's so beautiful. But they,
I know, I can't wait.
Why they need to tide, like what it does, like what this thing is, how this thing started, why they keep doing this. Gambit obviously doesn't care about it because he's moved on. That's why he's like, screw the tide, But for the rest,
at least we get the if you're gonna draw this comparison, at least we get the impression, and rightfully so, that we're gonna see the Shadow King again. We're never gonna see this X-Ternal again.
Yeah, they're gonna see Belladonna.
Any of these.
X-Ternal or
Belladonna. We might see Belladonna again, but I wouldn't be so sure.
But she's powerless now, so.
Yeah, so
interesting.
Yeah. Well, back to that was your fifth point, I guess.
No, that was
back to you.
I'm gonna just go with Wolverine and Gambit. Like you can tell, Wolverine actually does care about him as much as they shit on each other. It seems to be a kind of fraternal, like
the protectiveness was there anyway.
Yeah, no, he actually does care about Gambit, and I know I asked the Leewalds when they were on. Why Wolverine hates Gambit so much, and they laughed and said it certainly seemed that way. But I think this episode sort of hammers home the fact he does actually care about him, and is willing to sacrifice himself to save him. So, there's that there, which is nice. It's nice to see that there's actually a sense of brotherhood amongst these X-Men.
Right. All right. Well, my fifth point is Gambit. Let me talk about Gambit for a minute.
We're talking about Gambit, Shop?
We're talking about Gambit for a minute, Shop. Remy LeBeau, Remy the Handsome. In the comics, and probably why this episode doesn't really resonate much with me. In the comics, I find Gambit a hard character to really care about. At least when like a story becomes about him. Like I don't really seek out the Gambit solo books that come out, and I find he's used perfectly in most of the show so far, where he's the one-liner guy, or the guy to just come in and kind of just draw attention to himself for a minute, saying something cool or whatever, But he's not super interesting a character to me in comics or in this show for that much focus. The opposite of the Storm effect in an episode that, we can disagree on how great the episode was. It was about Storm, so it worked for me. But the opposite happens when it's about Gambit.
Yeah,
he's not a bad character by any means. He's just not one of my favorites in the most.
Yeah, I like him. I don't know. I like him.
Yeah, he's a great character, that show.
Show.
All right, well, that was Uncanny X points. Great
segment.
We love our X points.
Lebowski, you're on the show. Hey, buddy.
Me and my cats want to be on the show. I'm surrounded by 3 of them, and they're all out of reach. And one of them's out in the
Sometimes
rain right now. It's
sometimes I'm
storming.
not paying him enough attention. He has to get up here and force his will upon me. Don't you?
Hey,
Don't
Rosie, do
that.
you want to be on the show? Okay, walk in the opposite direction. I didn't want you to be on the show anyway. Anyway.
You jerk.
Yeah, Rosie is a bit of a jerk sometimes, actually. Right.
Hey.
Moving on. Oh, why do I keep doing that? Ignore that, everybody. Wait, well, that was the X points thing again.
Jesus
So I've now
Christ.
played it 3 times.
What are we even doing here, man? What are we doing?
No, wait, that was X points, so that's cool. That was the closing theme of that segment. You see, that worked. Saved it, rebounded. Yeah.
Hey, check this out.
Hey, check this out. Eventually, I'll get smoother at switching between segments instead of being like, okay, let's find a new segment to do. You're right.
If a matchup.
Hey, check this out. It's our comics reminiscences and recommendations. What you got for us, Andre?
I tried to run and find something frantically. I don't have a lot of X-Men. I have a lot of graphic novels, not a lot of X-Men ones, so it's getting tougher to keep up with this. I know, I need more. But actually, no, I know the ones that I should have used. I'll use them next time. But I'm going with this. So it's the art of John Romita Jr. I'm a big fan of his art.
John Romita Jr. I'm a fan as well.
I'm a big fan of his art. He did a seminal X-Men storyline with Wolverine Enemy of the State that he did the
he did earlier X-Men work as well in the 80s. It's kind of where he cut his teeth at Marvel.
There's some great X-Men work here, as you can see with
great
the Sentinels.
Spider-Man run.
The Sentinels there. There's Wolverine on the side. I'm a huge fan of his work. His father obviously was a very influential and important artist to Spider-Man, to Marvel Comics in general. And when he began, he sort of aped his father's style a little bit, but eventually fell into his own. And he's an amazing artist. I really, really dig his work. There's Apocalypse with the 4 Horsemen of Apocalypse, which is super cool. So yeah, like if you like his work, you'll love this book. It's a great little art book that shows some great images of some of the highlights of his work over the years. As well worth picking up. So maybe out of print now, but if you come across it, definitely pick it up. It's fantastic. And you're gonna have the issues that this was based on from X-Men, which is
no. I just wanted to show one of my favorite John Romita Jr. covers. I actually got him to sign.
You met him?
This one, yeah.
Where at?
Toronto? No.
Oh, at Comic-Con?
Maybe my sister got this one to sign for me. 2013. Yeah, I don't think I did meet him. I think this was my sister got him to sign this one for me. I think I remember meeting John Romita Jr. too.
I would love to meet him. That's amazing.
Yeah, we should get him on your show. But you see this one, how like there's so many dimensions in this one. There's like the front, the foot in the foreground, and then there's the window, and then there's his reflection, and then there's the people in the building.
You don't need to talk to me about how great John Romita Jr. is. I'm a massive fan. He's a seminal Spider-Man artist to me, right up there with Mark Bagley.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, mine. 2 things. One. This is first appearance of Belladonna, X-Men number 8. If you want to get into that story a bit in the comic form, this is where it's at. And it also features Bishop, who's going to show up next episode, Time Fugitives. And the issue, that was X-Men number 8. The issue right after that is Ghost Rider shows up.
Of course.
Death Neath New Orleans.
It's the 90s. It's the 90s. Ghost Rider needs to be in everything.
He showed up in that Gambit flashback earlier, so there's a little more Ghost Rider sneaking around New Orleans kind of thing there. But the other thing I wanted to really kind of reminisce and recommend about is, because it has more to do with the show, is X-Men 92 House of 92 is out, where they're doing the House of X through the lens of X-Men the Animated Series. It's the first issue is out now. It's very fun. I have the variant cover here. I like the Jean kind of image, and I like them Storm and them The regular cover I have here, if you all see it, it's also very cool.
Oh yeah, yeah. So this is sort of them doing what if they did the House of X storyline with the 92 X-Men lineup.
Yeah, and
Not
I
really
like
related
what
to
they're
the
doing
comic,
with
but
it.
it kind of is, or with the cartoon, but it kind of is.
Yeah, oh yeah, they're doing a lot of the same stuff. They're just changing some of the characters around and stuff, and I like where they're going with it. Those types of stories aren't often my favorite, where they're just sort of a rehash of something else or a kind of different multiverse.
Yeah, it's kind of a what if
view
thing, which I've
story.
always liked.
Yeah,
So. Yeah.
But I really like this one. I definitely think everyone should check it out. I don't want to spoil any of it, so I'm not going to really mention anything from the story.
Yeah, all right.
Anything I would say would probably do. But other than to say that they do pick up a lot of the same story points.
Cool.
But in a different way, and everything in a slightly different way. Right. Well, that's our comic recommendations and reminiscences.
Something's very wrong.
What's wrong with Andre?
Nothing really. I got
Oh,
a
you
bit
wanna
of a
switch
head
it?
cold. I got a bit of a head cold. I think it's not the Rona as far as I can tell. But it's kind of annoying. I did just have the annual general meeting for the Community Credit Union, in which I'm the vice chair of the board of directors. And at the end of the annual general meeting, they do like a door prize giveaway, and you put everybody who shows up for the meeting puts their name in a basket. Someone else picked my name. I won $200. So, hey,
Well,
that's good.
It's more of a what's working with Andre.
That's right. Andre's doing all right. And tomorrow's.
Really?
I'm not.
I feel better.
The look on your face when you did that was really good. You're like, and not that I'm a big weed smoker, but I would like to, tomorrow's 420. So for our weed smoking listeners, don't forget to put out milk and cookies for Willie Nelson tonight.
Or Snoop Dogg, whatever kind of music you listen to.
Whatever weed god shows up at your door. That's
Cheech and Chong, Tommy Chong.
Yeah, Cheech Chong would be cool. I like Tommy Chong.
That was awesome. So is Cheech, actually.
Yeah, no, life's good. I can't complain too much. My brother's going to visit this weekend. Had a nice wrestling weekend last weekend. I met a fan in person, which was fun.
Very
so,
cool.
It's all good. Life's good, man.
We need to get stickers or something for those moments. We can be like, oh, you're a fan of the show? Have a sticker,
You think we got sticker money? We didn't got that MeUndies money yet. We can't afford stickers.
We'll get the MeUndies money, and then we'll get stickers.
Okay. MeUndies. I need some underwear. Come on.
MeUndies, are you looking to break into the X-Men market?
You want that sweet, sweet nerd market who definitely change their underwear regularly.
They definitely want that market. That market spends money.
Yeah, sure. Not on hygiene products like underwear.
Moving on.
By our covenant, your powers shall be increased. Strength and protection from the powers of mortal men.
That's what's working.
Storm's working with you?
That wasn't Storm. That was the X-Ternal.
It sounded the same.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. She does sound like Storm.
Storm's not in the episode, so maybe they threw the voice actress some work.
Yeah, that makes sense. The bound. Well, what's working with Davin? I'm going fishing tomorrow. I'm taking the whole day going fishing. Trying out my new boat. Doing it. Time to relax.
Do you have a good fishing spot in your new location?
I'm going to try some new spots.
All right. So, something around this. Like, do you have a boat? Or you just go sit on, like...
Yeah, I got a little boat. Just got it. I'm going to try it out.
You're like the Seminole dad, you know that? You're like getting in a boat, going fishing on your day off. Like, jeez.
Well, once I had a child, I did realize that was pretty much the case.
Fishing comes with it.
No, just the whole... I like dad jokes. I just want to go fishing. Hang out with my baby.
Do you have a favorite dad joke?
Garden.
Do you have a favorite dad joke?
Probably. My favorite dad joke, it's not even really a joke. It's just like when you're backing up in the driveway and you just like kind of look back and you're like, now this takes me back.
That's nice. I like goofy jokes. I don't know if it'd be a dad joke, but my favorite one is why does the mermaid wear seashells? Because she outgrew her bee shells.
I like that one. That's a good one. That's better than mine.
Feel free to use it anytime.
Oh, I will. All right. Well,
Glad y'all decided to join the party.
party like it's apostrophe 97, shall we?
Puzzle 97, Shep.
Yeah. Well, one thing is this thing. This is interesting because they're doing the whole House of X thing in comic form, and now I was hoping they were going to do that in apostrophe 97.
They still mind. I think the things are different.
I think,
enough, or separate enough.
Guess, but I feel like they're not going to use this storyline now.
Probably not, because
not right away.
Well, it's all hinged around. It's all hinged around the Scarlet Witch, who's not really.
No, that's House of M. This is House of X. You're thinking of House of M.
What's House of X?
House of M is where the.
I know what House of M is. What's House of X?
House of X is all the stuff that's happening now, where they all live on Krakoa. Mutants can't really die. All this type of stuff. It's the best X-Men comics have been in.
That's good to hear. I'll have to buy the trade, so I have another trade to offer when I come.
Start with Dawn of X and was it Powers of X and Powers of 10?
There's too many.
Or House of X and Powers of 10? Maybe it's called House of X and Powers.
There's too many X-Men books. It's hard to keep up, man.
Oh well, that's the X-Men for you. But it's worth it. Cut out all that DC stuff.
Interesting. Okay.
So yeah. But also, both Lenore Zan and Cal Dodd were back in the studios recording more stuff. I think they're already recording season 2.
Have they established that there's going to be season 2?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
maybe that's breaking news.
Maybe the Tad will make a comeback.
Could be wrong, but that's what I gathered.
Oh, very
maybe
cool.
It's just doing later episodes of season 1. But I expect us to see.
The show's not out till next year sometime, right?
It's gonna be a hit. Like it's gonna be the first season. If it is one, it's gonna be a huge hit, and it's gonna make them want to do a second one.
I'm sure it probably will be. Yes,
we're gonna be promoting it here.
That's true. Give us that sweet Disney money.
Give us that sweet Disney money. That sweet Disney Tad.
We'll stop cursing Disney. Just tell us what you need from us, and we'll do it. Just tell us what you need. Please, if you want to suckle at the teat of your corporate.
Here you go. I'm gonna get all these. Funds. I have to deal with these messages you keep bringing us in.
Oh come on. Okay, well, if suckle at the teat brings in boob shots, then you're definitely a step ahead of what you were at before.
Well, here's something we haven't done in a little while. Do expert casting.
Oh, okay.
Let us play a game. You first, because you're better at this game than me.
So I have to pick a random person, fiction or living, that you have to cast.
Or a cartoon character. Since I picked Ned Flanders one time.
I like.
We haven't had any ladies yet.
I like picking actors. All right, Catherine Hahn.
Catherine Hahn. So she's Agatha all along.
She is.
Right?
She's in a lot of other things, but that is, if you're a comic fan, that's probably what you know her from the most.
Pretty great, actually. I like her. Celine.
Who?
100% Celine.
Who's Celine?
Celine is an X-Ternal. She's the oldest mutant, older than Apocalypse. She's the Black Queen in the Hellfire Club for a long time.
Wasn't that Marvel? Wasn't that Jean Grey?
That tiny little time. It's usually Celine was the Black
Queen. Okay. Celine. Interesting.
Yeah, it's like she was a cave woman. Like she's that old. Like,
but she had like a sense of humor because like Han's really good at that sort of stuff.
I was.
All right, no, that's good. All right.
I
Like
think
30
she can. I think in sort of this dark kind of way, which I think she can do.
Oh yeah, no, she's a great actress, and not even just in
Yeah,
comedic roles. She's great. in
like
everything.
a good dark humor, you know.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, I like my choice there.
All right, I like it too.
For you, Steve Buscemi.
Oh, you know what's really funny? I almost before you said we haven't had a lady on the show, I was going to say Steve Buscemi to you.
Oh wow, okay.
I
Well, now
swear
you
to
get
God,
to
I
pick the
was.
character for him.
Oh man,
It's tough, right?
no,
But it's like there's
I
a
know
lot of. Oh,
I know who it
okay.
would be. So remember
Right.
that mutant that the mole mutant that they were going to beat up on the street, and he was like, I don't have any powers. I
You
just
got to
like
make
this guy.
that guy Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, that would be Steve Buscemi.
What?
That or Toad. I think he'd be good at Toad as well.
He would be a good Toad. I like that better than the one character we're
I'll
never
say
going to
Toad.
see again or care about. Yeah, Toad. I like that.
Actually, no, I haven't.
No?
Glob,
all right.
Glob Herman.
Right. Steve Buscemi is Glob
You do the
Herman.
voice of Glob Herman.
The voice of a teenager.
Yep. You can do it.
I think I like Toad better, but we'll go with Glob Herman. I think I won this round. I think
Well, if I go back to Toad, do I win?
Well, you can contact us at xmenreviewshow@gmail.com.
Send all your penis photos.
Oh, God damn it.
I can't believe you got a dick pic. That's fucking insane, dude. It's nuts.
I know this.
It doesn't even matter what
on
you
my
do.
Star Trek show.
It doesn't matter what you do. Like it does. Like the internet is such a wild west of like random crazy bullshit that you're like, I'm going to do a podcast about my love of a 1990s cartoon featuring Marvel characters, the X-Men, and somebody out there in the internet's first reaction is, let's send them a picture of my penis. I mean, that seems to be a rational way to go about this show.
You and your bone zone.
Oh, shut up. Come on. That's innocuous at best. Nobody's going to be sending penis pictures. I mentioned Bone Zone.
I think they
obviously get off on sending photos to random people. That's probably what their deal is. But my God.
Probably.
We're a goddamn fucking nostalgia podcast from a cartoon in the 90s. And you're like, I'm going to send my dick to them.
Follow us on Facebook.com/X-Men Review Show. Twitch at X-Men Animated Reviews, because I made that different to be confusing. And on YouTube's. And you can find us, you can do most of our posting and stuff on the Facebooks as regular posting, though. Get us on there. Chat with us on there. We talk back. Chat with us. And, you on the audio-only version, wherever you get your podcasts. Like, review, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'd love to hear some reviews. We haven't got any reviews. We'd love to hear what you think of the show. Even if you don't want to, let us know. Send us a message. Tell us what you like.
Just give us a holler.
Yeah.
Anything else? Oh, yes. Let's talk about the Graphic Histories podcast.
Yes, my other podcast, the first one I started, which I interview sci-fi, nerd, comic industry people, anything that's kind of nerd adjacent. The new episode will be this Saturday, which I haven't announced the guest yet, but I now have it sorted. It's going to be Chelsea Scully, who does work. Yeah, she does some really interesting stuff. I met her at the Island Expo. And believe me, I've been trying real hard to get guests that are people of color or people that are women, because it seems like I've noticed a trend in the guests I've had in the past. Although I've had some diverse guests, I just want to make sure that people from all aspects of nerddom are represented. So I'm really happy that Chelsea's happy to be on the show. She makes yarn dolls out of various science fiction and nerd-based culture. She's super into horror, and we had a great conversation at the Island Expo about horror movies. So I'm really excited to talk to her. She has some really cool work. Hoping to help her promote her product, and also just have a great conversation. I think we will. She's really, really cool. So we'll be recording that this week, but it'll be out this Saturday.
Very cool. Very cool. I will be listening.
You're the one.
Anybody want a t-shirt? Oh, yeah, I'm the one. I hope my check's in the mail.
That's right.
Also, I took my podcast, so Curators of Trek. Still trying to edit the most recent episode. I promise it will be done eventually, now that we have taken care of the child care situation. I actually have a little bit of time to breathe and edit. But also, there's a Trouble with Trivia segment coming up, where we shall try to destroy my cousin Dave, who is starting to seem unbeatable.
This is all Star Trek trivia specifically, I assume.
Yeah, it's all Star Trek.
I don't know how well I do in that.
Guess my cousin Dave, probably not too good. But here's his podcast, the long podcast, and my cousin Jeff. Check that out. As well as former guest of the show, Jamie O. Robinson. Yeah. Also, their show's Trivia Debates. It's a good show. You should be on that sometime, Andre. You'd enjoy that show.
You know, Trivial Debates, there, Shep?
Yeah. That's my cousins, the Super Mater brothers. Check out their stuff. In the meantime, we shall yearn for X-Men 97 like Wolverine here. And destroy as many weddings as possible.
Before we wrap up the series, did you watch the trailer for Thor?
Yeah.
Thor Love and Thunder. It looks fucking amazing.
You know what? Let's go back to what's working with Gavin for a minute. I love that run. Jason Aaron's entire run of Thor is one of the great stories ever told.
He had a fantastic Wolverine run too, if you're looking for Jason Aaron ready.
Yep. And specifically, he does the Wolverine and the X-Men stuff. That for a long time too. But yeah, check out the Jane Foster Mighty Thor run if you haven't read it. It's amazing. She's a great character. I can't wait to see her on film. It looks great.
It looks really, really good. I'm super excited for it. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of fun connections to Guardians and other things in the Marvel Universe. I'm excited to see what they're going to do. Super excited. I mean, I think from what I've seen, they didn't show Gore the God Butcher yet, which I know is the villain played by Christian Bale. I feel like he's going to bring in a level of intensity to that character, which is well deserved and going to be
great
shown
character.
Yeah.
Also a Jason Aaron character from the Jason Aaron run.
True. His entire Thor run, even before they got to the Mighty Thor Jane Foster stuff, is really, really
the
good.
God Bomb stuff, the God Butcher stuff is so good. And the covers all done by Assad Ribic is amazing stuff.
Yes. Fantastic. Go read it. That's your homework. But your actual homework is to go watch the next episode of our series. So make sure you go watch it. What's the name
of
that
Fugitives.
Time Fugitives Part 1.
We're probably going to see Bishop. We're probably going to see Cable and all those other silly time shenanigan fugitives.
We're going to see a bunch of other characters too. Random weird characters that don't often show up in comics, like Game Master or Hope or Donsick or Boke or Kane. Mole comes back, voiced by Steve Buscemi. Not really. Scale
His name's probably not even Mole.
It says Mole in the credits for the next episode.
Oh, so does it?
He's back, baby. Steve Buscemi character Mole makes a return next episode. Oh man, I'm going to stick by that character. If that character got more screen time, Steve Buscemi would do a great idea. I'm sticking with Steve Buscemi for Mole.
All right,
he'd be a fun.
Is his name even Mole?
It is Mole. When you look at the list of characters in the next episode, Mole is one of them.
He's in the next episode.
Yes.
So he is back.
He's back, baby. And Steve Buscemi should be voicing him, as I stated.
Can't wait to see. Well, maybe he will.
All right, we'll go watch Time Fugitives Part 1.
All right. Catch you X time, everybody.
X time!
1, 2, 3.